last night that I can't get off of my mind. I've run through the events in my head over and over again, but I can't make it make sense. I'm hoping that writing it out may bring some clarity that I can't get just by thinking on it. For some background, I live in a decently sized 2-story home with my mom and older brother. We have an office with a computer downstairs, and I frequently stay up late, goofing off on the internet until my body tells me it's time to go to bed. Last night, it was around 2 a.m. when I finally decided to call it and head to my room. I shut everything down and made my way to the stairs, making sure to turn off all of the lights behind me as I went. When I reached the beginning of the stairs, I realized it was too dark to see up them and my phone was in my bedroom on the second floor. I briefly considered the effort of going back and turning the lights on again, but my tired brain was ready for bed and I decided to just make my way up the stairs in the darkness. It's a basic staircase that I had gone up and down thousands of times before. First you head up a few steps, turn on a landing halfway up, traverse the remaining few steps, and at the top you're only a couple of footfalls from my bedroom door. Like I said, simple. It was basically muscle memory at this point. I took the first set of steps up to the landing, keeping my hand on the railing to navigate my way through the inky black darkness. Once on the landing, I took the same turn I always do and began stepping up the second set of steps. If I had to guess, I would say that normally from this point it is only about 5 to 7 more seconds until I reached my bedroom. Tonight, however, I had gotten lost in my own thoughts and did not realize at first that I'd spent much longer walking up the stairs. I guess that probably a full minute passed before I realized I had been walking for too long. I gripped the handrail tighter and tried to make sense of my surroundings, but the surrounding area was too dark. I felt a sickness in my stomach immediately. I tried desperately to squint through the darkness, to no avail. I rationalized with myself that, as long as I followed the railing, I would have to make it to the top of the stairs eventually. I took a deep breath and put one foot up and in front of the other. I did this several times, making sure to cling to the railing on one side and run my hand along the wall on the other. I can't describe the deep-seated sense of dread and wrongness I felt the further up the stairs that I got. I should have been at the top by then. I considered screaming for help, but I couldn't shake the thought that I was just exhausted and not thinking straight. I didn't know how I'd explain myself if my mom woke up and came running to help me. I had the idea then to count. I'd count each step as I took it and then this would finally make sense. So I counted, but it never made any more sense. I took it slow and stopped counting past 80. I must have been walking up the stairs for 10 minutes or more. I spent the whole time considering what I should do, but the only thing I could do was make my way up each step. I didn't dare turn around and risk getting even more lost. I was getting nowhere, just endlessly walking upwards. I stopped on a step and took a moment to collect myself. As I stood still, my skin began to crawl. A lump formed in my throat that dared to turn me into a sobbing mess if I didn't continue walking. I felt terrified and ridiculous at the same time. I was at a complete loss for what to do. I felt like a child who got separated from their parent at a department store. Then, the stairway was suddenly filled with light. I was stood in the dead center of the second set of stairs, feeling an intense mixture of confusion and relief like I'd never felt before up to this point in my life. I peered up the stairs to see my brother at the top, looking down at me. He looked almost as confused as I felt, blinking sleepily at me from a few feet away. My brother spoke first. "I've been hearing footsteps on the stairs for the past several minutes." "What are you doing?" I opened my mouth to speak, but I didn't know what to say. "I slept with the lights on last night. I'm scared to turn them off until I can understand what happened to me." If my brother hadn't turned on the stairway light, I'm not sure that I would be here writing this story.
There's